on your head?
I'm just cleaning up the head a little bit. I'm going to take the side that I think is the fuzziest, and I like to put this not absolutely at the end. I like to have it sitting on top somewhat so that it gives it a little hello, I'm here. So I'm gonna take some of these fuzzies and I'm gonna stab them into that looser wool at the end. It's okay if it's like a different color. We're gonna wrap some more around this. We're gonna go around the whole perimeter of the head to really try to marry, like, okay, so the blue raspberry, I mean, it's difficult because mine is pink too, so.
Yeah, getting
The
those
pink
two
and the blue, I'm not gonna call them by their names.
My head rests a little bit, if you want to flip it over, rests a little, remember how mine stuck out a little bit? So it's just resting on that.
Okay.
And stabbed into it.
Yeah. And she's already wrapped her wing stays on at this point. So where we want to put those is just above the middle legs, between the front and the middle legs, just above. Because you want to imagine your wings are going to get applied right here, and these need to be behind it. So don't put it all the way up next to the head.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'm still working on attaching this.
Yes.
So I'm going from the bottom and tack that in a little bit.
Oh my gosh, these colors are so fun. I don't know. Get some orange in there somewhere.
I kind of like your neck on that one. I'm glad you did that.
Yeah.
I have made them with long necks before, and they're really cute. So that excess pipe cleaner, you know, you can feel free to construct your base in any way you want. Okay, so I've got my wrapped wing stay, and I'm going to take that between, just in front of this little guy ended up.
You know what's cool about this kit too is there's so many colors, so and it makes 6. So you're gonna make one and be like, oh, okay, I learned while I made that one, and then be able to keep making, you know, more and more.
Okay, so to apply this, I'm going to start at the top of the bug. Approximately find your center, and we're going to go below. Now you're not going to twist them, they're just going to kind of overlap. They're going to pass each other. And you're really going to cinch that. You want to squeeze that in. Okay. So these, what we want to do, we don't want to see this screen, right? So we will take more of the raspberry, and I might need more than I've got here, since we shared it. And I'll just wrap some more around this. And this is a good opportunity, because you've stabbed your head on to the body, you can use more of this raspberry or color, whatever your body color is, to clean that up and to go, oh, look at that. Through the miracle of science. Okay, I should have started with a bigger piece. I'm going to do that now.
Oh my gosh, I love your head.
Okay, which direction was I going? Don't forget. Okay, so I'm going to draft this a little thinner. I'm holding it close because I don't want it to fall apart. Am I still in a good position for you?
Yep.
Sorry,
That's
keep
it right
coming
there.
closer to myself. See, the problem is I'm leaning so far forward. Just do this. There we go. Okay, so I'm kind of girdling his head. It kind of gives us a little neck at this point to wrap around that several times, and then come back down and make sure that like any green that you don't want to see is covered. So like I see that on the side, I want to cover that. Just make sure that that's going to go away. And now be concentrating on the shape that you're getting to. And I want him to have a little bit fatter thorax. I think this midsection is called a thorax. So I'm not gonna take any of this off. I'm just gonna keep going around and then work that in. Okay, these guys are just gonna kind of travel while you're working. It's okay, they'll be fine. Again, we're not bending the legs yet, we're just trying to work around them as best we can. And now here comes the fun part. You can finesse this more. I would. This is probably a little loose, but you do want to keep some of this loose enough that when we apply these wings that have been felted more firmly than this, you want them to have something that they can attach to. Okay, I need some bigger scissors.
Bigger, okay. Bigger than the
I just
snip.
feel like I have more
Okay.
control with a bigger scissors. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut this in half and not worry about these wings. I know I was going to start with this one, but I think I'm going to just use these. They're real basic guys. So what I like to do is figure out approximately how wide my body is. Is this showing up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I am going to make that cut there. Don't feel constrained to the shape that I seem to be making over and over and over again. You can cut, you know, little notches. Butterfly wings have all kinds of crazy shapes. So now I'm just finding that spot again, and I'm just gonna kind of mirror with this cut. Almost looks like a fishtail. And once you start folding these, they get a lot of personality, and you'll see things that you're like, oh, well, maybe if I do this, maybe if I cut this little section out, it's going to be more interesting. So I am not going to cut all the way down. This is still going to remain as one piece so that I can needle felt save this part of the section onto the body right there. And the wings will kind of wrap around these wing stays and attach to the body as well. Okay, so they're not perfect. They're not exactly the same. Look what you can do. Once you fold those, they get so much personality, and I like that they're different sizes. I think that's fun. It's gonna give him personality. I keep coming back to that. But so we've got this gap here, and we have this section. Sometimes if you feel like this is felted quite a lot and you don't have enough fuzzies there, you can just add a little bit of wool. I'm going to call this wool glue, you know. And we're going to start, don't worry about these wing stays right now. You can just bend them to the back right here. We're going to focus on really fixing this perimeter, very bottom of that whole segment to the body. So you can go through the back here shallowly so you don't break your needle in the wire. You can even push the head into that, or you can even put more fiber over the top of it to have that. So you can highlight things after the fact, like if that just started disappearing, which I felt it was, you know, the blue kind of blends into the green too nicely. Maybe I want a little pop. And this is also going to help secure that piece of felted wing. And you would just go around the whole center. See how it's still fuzzy down here? You're just going to work that. Okay, so now we've got this tacked down, And we've got our little wing stays. I feel like I could, at this point, trim this maybe a little bit more. You're going to want to play with this. Alright, so now we've cut this down just a little bit more. I've got this pretty well secured here. And can you see the wings stay back there? I'm just going to pinch this around. And it might be awkward to see, but this side, and you can kind of move your legs around. I want you to make sure you're on the stab it though. And watch your fingers.
The little mini stab
away.
Stab wab.
Stab wab
is great for these because you can he can like sit on it so you can get here. You know what I mean? Like you can put it this way and it supports his back because they're not flat. So it just works.
That's very cool. Sometimes if you want this pinch to remain, you can add a little bit of the wool that's going to blend with it and use that as stickum.
Stickum. Ha, stickum.
So remember, I'm keeping track of where my fingers are. I can't say that enough. If you're new or old, we get complacent. So now you see how it's just kind of wrapped around that? And that little wing stay, you can glue that down, just a little nub there, but I feel like it gives you, I don't know, the ability to kind of pose these differently if you feel like it, They don't have to have the same hairdo every day. So I'm just tacking some of this extra wool down to secure that. And now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Really play with these wings, find their personality. There's no one way to do this. So again, I'm going to grab this and I'm just going to kind of sandwich it and hold it there for this part. I feel like I have a loose enough body at this point that I don't really need to put any extra wool under there to grab it. Are you seeing how this is going in?
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, here's mine at the moment. Shove that in there.
Cute! So she's gone around there. Here's a happy thing. I like the line down the middle.
Yeah?
Yeah. It gives a little definition. So now I'm going to put a little bit more of this green in, just so that I have
needs a little white
something. Sarah's already doing all kinds of fun things with hers. I'm trying to catch up. Okay, so before we, I'm going to introduce a technique that I use a lot, which is fire. I like to set everything I make on fire at some point, it seems. Not so much my clothing, but my little sculptures. And these can be fuzzy, moths are fuzzy, all kinds of bugs are fuzzy. But sometimes if you want a smoother look, was I working on the wrong wing? I might have been. I think I was. Yes, I was. Oh my gosh. Don't get turned around, y'all. I don't say y'all anywhere near as much as I do outside of Texas.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's like I get self-conscious saying in Texas. I'm not from Texas. I'm just trying to assimilate. I'm a transplanted San Franciscan. All right. But I can't admit that in Austin because so many Californians moved there. They're not well loved.
Really?
Yeah, they drive up the housing prices. Because they come from a place where you can live in a shack for $2 million.
No.
In my defense, I never owned a home in Cali. All right. You're looking super goofy. Okay. So now, what do we want to do with you? I think I'm going to show you how to set him on fire. Fire. Channel your Beavis and Butthead. Okay, I'm going to set his little foot on fire because he had a little extra fuzzy. I'm just kind of kissing the surface. This, for some reason, is just a mother of a lighter. I think you can adjust the flame, but we're gonna do this before we put any antenna on or his little plastic eyes. I don't want you to like melt him and be like a sad little thing. And you can overdo this. It may change, the color of your wool, but honestly, I feel like it just smooths things out and gives you a nice cohesive look.
Don't burn yourself.
And
don't stab yourself.
Don't stab yourself, don't burn yourself. All the things you need to know. Stay safe in your doodle bug adventures.
I burned his little butt.
Ugh. The edges of the wings are kind of fun to clean up sometimes if you don't have a bunch of hang doodles off of there. Okay.
I like the smell of it.
Yeah, Sarah's weird. She likes the smell of burning protein. But see, I'm just
It's called grilling.
Grilling. She sniffs her sculptures.
I was off camera, Aaron. No one knew what I was doing.
Until I called you out. Alright.
She's really Erin, not Aaron.
I'm Erin.
Right?
That's right. I am Erin. Okay. So now we're going to get down to decoration. Alright, so I think these are super fun to use. They're just, sewing pins. And you can use 2 different colors. You can use whatever you got. But what you're going to get in your kit are little black glass eyes. And so you shouldn't have to cut the ends off. Actually,
I can use the
ends
black
off.
ones if you want to use the colored ones.
Why don't you use these and then I can show how to cut.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good. But see, look how fun that's gonna be. He's gonna be super cute. He would be really cute with black. And so knowing that, I'm gonna go with this dark purple because I think that would be fun too. So you can just poke it through, see where you're liking he can have a completely different personality based on where his eyes end up. So, see what works for you. Maybe he's got his little eyes on the top of his head. This is purely your choice. Maybe he's wonky-eyed. That says something about who he is. If his eyes are all like wonky-doo. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so come on.
That's little wonky.
I think he's gonna just have to be a wonky-doo. All right, so this kid, in order to get this is a tricky part. Here, tips, y'all. We're gonna sink that into our stabbit, and I want you to cut this at an angle about 1/4 inch in. Make sure you are holding tight on that head pin, and enough of this is sunk in that it's not going to go flying. The reason we're cutting that at an angle is so that we can get it to go back in the head. And hopefully you have a place to put your sharps so that doesn't end up in somebody's foot. Okay, I can't remember, was this the wonky one? It was. So I'll cut them first and then we're going to glue them in. So same thing again, sink that, enough of it, cut at an angle.
Oh my gosh.
Sharp away. Are you having too much fun over there?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. So now I'm going to take this super glue and I'm not going to take the eye completely out because I want to be able to find that hole again. And really, we're going for the tiniest little drop. And
Yeah, the super glue is powerful.
It goes a long way, and you don't want to see a big gobber of glue coming out from your eye. So be very mindful of that. If you get too much, you have time, you can take it off with something else, like a little stick or something. And now just tuck that and let it be. That is done. And now we get to put on antennae.
My little doodle is named.
It's so cute!
His name's Robert. Maybe it's Mark.
You sure it isn't Roberto? He looks like a Roberto to me. He's adorable. Okay, so these little poofs, you'll be able to make stuff like that with your roving. It's just stapled down. So she took off a length and twisted its ends a la waxed mustache.
This one I put on the same way, but then cut that fringy fuzz.
This
that,
one,
yes.
the little hairdo.
Yes.
Yeah.
So instead of twisting it, I cut it and that.
Yeah. So did you take a piece of staple and go down the middle, or did you?
I just parted it, and I just parted it.
Part it and then twist
it. Yep.
Yeah. Look how sweet. So is he gonna get antennae too?
I don't know. I think the
It's
white
just
skins
hairdo.
might just be his little
I
thing.
think so. Well, let me show you how. Do we have any
Would you
peacock
like me to do
feathers?
some peacock?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to show these real quick? Just
Sure.
so the way when in the wet felting process, it was just from extra. I had 2 long skinny triangles
yeah, 2 long skinny triangles
of pre-felt.
and added some silk into it. So I don't know if you can see the sheen. You can definitely see the sheen in this one. Look how fun these little coils are. Aren't those brilliant?
And then I rolled them in my hand after it started to felt.
Roll them.
And then when they dried, I wrapped them around a pencil.
Well, no, while they were still wet.
I mean,
While they're still
they
wet.
dried. Yeah, while they were
And
wet.
they dry around a pencil, so you wrap them and just hold them like that. And then you can have little crazy antennae too.
Thank
The options are endless.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, so all I have here are 2 tiny little pieces of peacock feather. You know what I don't have ready? Is the needle. Okay.
All right. Do you have any
Okay.
recollection of where we were?
Well, I think now we've got, we're at a point where we're going to introduce the organza. So in order to apply that,
You were looking for
If
antenna
you're
needles.
using it.
That's where we were.
I did look for antenna needles, but what I'm going to do instead is I've cut this. We've got, I don't know, 3+
6.
hashtags. Are these 2 inches a piece?
Yes.
Okay, so a little over 6 inches, but it's all going to depend on your bug. I just like having at least like a couple inches this way, and I'm not sure what will be included, be it ribbon or yardage.
Right.
But you know, you can just trim it down. I like to ease the edges. Okay, so another thing that we're gonna do, this you have to be very careful with. You can end up with organza to no organza in an instant. So keep your flame set on low, and we're just gonna get close to it to kind of melt that edge. And it gives it some personality. It keeps it from fraying. You really don't have to actually touch it. You just get the heat source close.
Oh, this
to the
is my
edge.
bug. I did make 4. Sorry.
You must have. Yeah.
Because I knew I used the organza on 1.
Okay. So I'd already gone around part of the way, so this is just finishing off. And like I said, you can end up with like nothing in a heartbeat if you get too close. So just do this slow and easy. Okay, so to pull this through, I'm gonna kind of move these wings a little bit out of the way, and I'm gonna pull through this part of the body. So I want to fold this, get a little point, and I'm gonna take a needle that has a largish eye. This one might not be big enough because this was my antenna needle. And sometimes you'll have to use pliers to get it to pull through all the way. Thank you. So we've got a fairly large eye here. Should be able to pass that through pretty quickly. So just like a 1/2 inch or so, just something to grab onto. And we're going to have to go, I like to go about where the middle legs are. And come out on the other side. And if this is tricky, grab your pliers. Whoa! Sometimes you'll pull it all the way through. That's okay. What you can do is you can put a little drop of super glue on this if you want, but honestly, these aren't going to be flying anywhere. So that's not going to move. You can just leave it as is, and then you don't have to risk getting glue on your project. One more time. So they just add an extra little dimension of fun to these guys. All right, so more decorations. We are going to add these little antennae. They're just individual pieces of a peacock feather.
We haven't figured out what's going to be in the kit yet.
Yeah.
But they can be like the felted ones I made, horsehair, piece of feather. What else have you used in the past?
I've used stiffer feathers, like goose
all kinds
feathers,
of
all
feathers,
kinds of
yeah.
feathers. So if you have a feather collection like I do, and like this little guy has little pieces of ostrich feather, and those are really fun
Those
to
are
put
really
like
cool.
several of. And you just put both of those through the needle at the same time and draw them through instead of doing it individually like this one. So again, I've pulled about 1/2 inch or more through, and I'm just gonna go kind of, this again is personal preference where you want them. So I'm gonna draw it through slowly, not all the way. As soon as I'm able, I take this needle off and I see if I like where it's at. If you don't like where it's at, just pull it through the bottom and do it again. So I think that's just fine. I'm gonna put a second one in now. This is a slightly smaller needle than I was using. I just didn't want to end up with big holes in the head. Coming through at an angle again, slow. As soon as this is through, remove your needle. Oh, that's yours. We'll find it, get back to you. So you can twist these around, find the place you want them.
So cute.
Get your glue ready now. But as well as your glue, I want you to just have one of your little scraps of wool ready. So we're going to take our scissors and we're going to trim these, not all the way flush, but like 1/8 of an inch. You want a little something to get that glue onto. Can you see that? And then we're going to put that tiniest little bit on just to anchor these. And it looks like I can get it on with both of them. Just get your drop out and then just kind of smooch it around with the tip. Stop it. She's laughing over there. Okay, now I'm going to pull this up just to hide that little tip. And I might have a little glue there. If I do, I'm just going to do that and kind of smooth that out. And now he's got feelers. The last step, you can decide if you want your bug flying. If you do, you can use the clear filament, like fishing line, and you can just stitch a little bit through the top any way you can. But that, to me, determines how his legs are going to be. So this guy, I was envisioning flying, so he's kind of more splayed out and crazy. This guy is bent for walking. So I'm gonna make this guy a little walker too. So I have these kind of at an angle out here. This is the part that I feel just doesn't, there's no rhyme or reason. So I'm gonna do an initial bend kind of in like that and then give him little feet out to the side. I don't even care that these aren't the same length. So sometimes I like to do the back ones first before the middle. So it's just basically 2 bends in each leg. And you can move the leg to the direction that you want. I mean, like, you want it pointing out to the side, make sure it's kind of...
Can you show the flying guy again?
Yeah.
Because I was not zoomed out enough to see him.
Okay. Flying guy is kind of splayed out.
Thank you.
And then standing beastie is like that. But honestly, now I feel like I want to just give him some more personality. These legs are infinitely adaptable. Just give them a little jauntiness. Sometimes it's fun for their little leg to be sticking up. He's just gonna say hello.
That's funny.
And we're good. There, my friends, is a doodle bug. He's a little fancy compared to where I started. This all began because I had this little failed wireframe when I was trying to make another beetle, and I'd figured out how to make the beetle, but I still had this sad little wireframe.
So you
I
just
couldn't leave it alone.
Doodled on it.
I doodled on it, and this is what happened.
I'm pretty sure if we infiltrated the world with doodle bugs, it'd be a peaceful, happy place.
Yes.
When everybody needs to make a doodle bug.
Yeah. Yes, so they're just there in your face, and then you can't have a bad day.
You can't.
Nope.
No. You're powerless.
Is there anything that we forgot that you want to?
There is one step that we didn't do, and it's just a matter of taking a little dab of glue and putting it on the back of the wing stay, and you can kind of stick your wing down there. But
Yep.
you would have figured that
Yes.
out. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, these are so fun. Like just so many possibilities, and I love the colors. I don't get to like doing all the animals and natural things. I don't get to play with bright colors.
Yeah,
very
you
much,
need to
so.
just have a little project that frees you from convention
Yes.
and let yourself go.
So show us your bugs in our group. It's called Serafina Felting Fanfare, and let us know how you guys made out. We want to see the bugs.
I want to
Yeah.
see, your interpretation of my bugs, because every time I teach a workshop, I'm just floored by the changes that people make in the wing shapes and this, that, and the other. So, I mean, it's not just my vision, it's just for you to do whatever you want with and just explore
And get creative.
Get creative.
It was really nice to meet you.
It was so good to meet you finally, in the fur.
Yes. Are you going to come back, I hope?
I would love to come back.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you gonna come visit me in Austin?
Maybe I hear it's warm there.
It's a little warm, but you know what? It's been the same temperature here. I got no break. No break. So you're used to it.
Yeah.
More to come. Thank you. Have fun.
Thanks.
Bye.